In 1963, the Organization of African Unity was established, an event that marked the victory of the protracted Pan-Africanist efforts to unite Africans in order for them to speak with a common voice. Whereas the early Pan-Africanist Congresses had been held outside of Africa because of the colonial powers would not allow such meetings in Africa, the independence of Ghana in 1957 and Kwame Nkrumah's Pan-Africanist vision shifted the center of Pan-Africanism to Africa. Pan-Africanist conferences were held in Africa in 1958, 1960, 1961, and 1963. The formation of the O.A.U. was one of the achievements of Pan-Africanism, and its survival, in spite of differences among its members, attests to the continued relevance of this continental body. It gave African countries an organization that could bring their leaders together, resolve disputes between nations, enable members to discuss political, cultural, and economic policies, examine the options available to deal with various problems, and in the 1960s and 1970s, find the means to assist countries still under colonial rule to fight for their freedom. The charter of the O.A.U. was signed by 31 independent African countries on the 25th of May, 1963 in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. The objectives were arrived as a compromise between two competing groups. On the one hand were members known as the Casablanca Group, a name derived from their conference held in Morocco in 1961, comprising Morocco, Mali, Ghana, Guinea, Algeria, and Libya. The Casablanca Group wanted the immediate unification of Africa. On the other hand, were members who wanted a gradual approach to the continental unification and who preferred stronger regional associations. Known as the Monrovia Group, named after their conference held in May 1961 in Monrovia, Liberia. This group comprised Somalia, Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Congo, Brazzaville, Ethiopia, Tunisia, and many French-speaking countries. Although the representatives of these two groups had previously disagreed on how to unite Africa, they were all passionately committed to the continental organization. All the speeches by the leaders at the 1963 meeting were inspiring in calling for consensus and for creating a means by which they could all contribute ideas and resources to the end of imperialism in Africa, control their destiny, and prevent wars among themselves. According to the Compromise Charter, the O.A.U. would promote unity and solidarity of the African states, coordinate and intensify their cooperation and efforts to achieve a better life for the peoples of Africa, defend their sovereignty, the territorial integrity, and independence, eradicate all forms of colonialism from Africa, and promote international cooperation having due regard to the Charter of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Charter provided a number of important principles to guide the member states. 1. Equality of all the member states with each other. 2. Non-interference in internal affairs of member states. 3. Respect for existing frontiers of member states. And 4. Peaceful settlement of all disputes between member states. In addition, the O.A.U. Charter was opposed to the subverting of African leadership and the assassination of its leaders by external and internal forces. Members were enjoined not to identify with either the Eastern Socialist Bloc or the Western Capitalist Bloc, but to promote instead a policy of non-alignment. Members were also enjoined to work to the end of apartheid system in South Africa and to liberate the entire continent from European rule. To prevent conflicts among the member countries, they agreed to promote equal rights and not give advantages to the big, rich countries that would enable them to dominate the smaller, poorer ones.